any hands still down? Okay. All right, well, sorry for you guys. But 42 years ago, I bumped into Maria, and I fell in love with her. Now, the thing is that we talk about marriage as a vocation, but at that time I had absolutely no idea it was a vocation. All I knew was that I wanted to marry her. Okay? It's the same with community. I had no idea when I was told by one of my leaders, this is what you need. This is what you need in Couples for Christ. And because he was my leader, I obeyed him. And we went ahead. But later on, I came to know that God was calling me, and is calling every one of us. Because our life in the community of Couples for Christ is a vocation. A saying yes to God, to live a particular way of life. And if you look at our covenant card, we talk about being holy, about being families, about being community, and about being missionary. If I can just reword it, we are a community of holy missionary families. That's our calling, to be a community of holy missionary families. You know, when I look at my life, I come from a poor family, socially backward, and so all I wanted in my life when I got a job in the bank was to be rich and to be the general manager of my bank. I mean, to have some position that people will say, he's somebody, but more importantly, that somebody would marry me. But when I met the Lord and he called me to himself, I had to give up my dreams. Because he said to me, that's not your life. I have other plans for you. And that is what it means to be holy, to be obedient to the calling of God. And that's something about our community. It teaches us to be obedient to the call of God. I remember when Todo de la Cruz, our first country coordinator, came to India, and he said, you must be missionary, you must go out and preach the gospel and all that. And I said, but I didn't join Couples for Christ to do mission work. I joined Couples for Christ because I wanted to have a good family. But then you obey God. You obey Him. And you go out on mission. And I remember how God, I used to say, this brother of ours from the Philippines lit a fire under us that took us to the ends of India. I remember our next country coordinator, Jack Burgoyne, he told me, I am coming here only for one purpose, that I might help change your life. Wow, a brother comes all the way from Manila because we are one community. And his only goal is to change my life because I happen to be the one who was in charge of India at that time. You know, I remember, okay, so I thought maybe he'll teach me something very, very great. And he just had two goals. And it took him something like 10 years to succeed. And the two goals are what? To teach me how to drive respectfully on the road as a sign of holiness, and to teach me not to curse on the road. And it took him 10 years of coming maybe once or twice a year just to spend time with me to change me. Now that is community, where we care for one another so that we might change our lives so that we can help our brothers and sisters to get to heaven. That is our experience, to obey the Lord as He speaks to us through our elders. Okay, we became missionaries in Goa, we became weekend missionaries going to neighboring places, we became holiday missionaries going to places far off, spending our holidays, maybe 20 days at a time. But the Lord wasn't finished. He says, no, you go full time. Okay? You go full time so you can go to missions far away. India is a big country, 2,000 miles, kilometers away, go to mission over there. And we had to learn to do that, okay? To become, because we are a missionary community. Our community is about saving souls. It's just two words. Be holy, save souls. That's our calling. Be holy, save souls. And that was basically my work in India. But God didn't finish with that. He sent us to come to Africa, that we might be transformed. Not that we might change people, that we might be transformed as we go out to serve in Africa. I'll ask Maureen to share here.
In community back home in India, we learned that community makes God present. You know, the different times when Tony used to get sick, he had very kind of terrible illnesses. But whenever he needed to be rushed to hospital, because we were back home, we had family and we had community around. So when we went to Malawi and he had malaria, I was really stumped. But then two sisters who were ready to go to a party decided they will take us up to the hospital and do the preliminary procedures. And then when he was in the ICU getting his drip, I was sitting on the sofa alone and I was crying, literally crying. And I heard the Lord say to me, the water may be different, but the oxygen is the same. And I looked up and I said, who's that? And again the voice said, the water may be different, but the oxygen is the same. So when God calls us to community, He becomes present to us in every given situation. In community back home, we learned the generosity of God through sharing. I remember in our households, we had members who were toddy tappers, fishermen, very poor. And when we had the household meeting in their homes, they could only offer a cup of black tea. And so those of us who were a little better off would take the snack. When we went to Malawi, we discovered that their greatest reason for not sharing was that they were poor. So when we used to go to meetings, we would take sugar, candles, rice, bread, something that they would use, they could use. And over time, they have learned how to share. Now they begin to give to one another, and even to us. When they come over for their training programs, they will bring groundnuts, little green vegetable, pumpkin, something that they have grown in their home so they can share. And so God's generosity becomes visible. You know, back home, CFC is a confessing community. We share in our households what is our prayer time, which day we have our heart-to-hearts, and that's how we have been able to grow in respect and love for one another. I remember when we had the hard time of really doing our heart-to-hearts.
One-to-ones.
One-to-ones, we now call them heart-to-hearts. We used to live on the 3rd floor, and one brother and sister of ours who was in our household used to live in the ground floor. And they knew that Wednesday was our one-to-one day. So he thought this brother was downstairs and he saw Tony bring a shopping bag and the list and start his scooter and go shopping. So he waited at his door and he said, brother, today's Wednesday. So he said, no, Maria put up a shopping list, so I went shopping. The next Wednesday, he waited outside. Tony was going shopping again. So he said, brother, today's Wednesday. So he said, no, we really need these things desperately. So Tony went shopping again. 3rd Wednesday, there was my brother standing outside, ready with his clothes on. Brother, give me your shopping list. Go up and have your one-to-one. I'll do the shopping for you. That's how we were able to put the basics of community life in place. And so when we went into Africa and Malawi, we discovered the disrespect that is there between men, and the men disrespect the women. They don't bother to help. They don't care for the women. And we were praying as to how do we begin to put respect back into place. And as we began to share with them about heart-to-hearts, we began to call them to live in our homes. And when they saw us wake up in the morning help one another, talk respectfully to one another, show love and affection. We have the great joy of seeing them do this as well. And so my worldwide CFC family, there is so much need. If you have experienced community, go and share, come to Africa.